সমাজতন্ত্র, গণতন্ত্র আর ধর্মনিরপেক্ষ রাষ্ট্র, এর মধ্যে কোনো কিন্তু নাই, এর মধ্যে কেউ হাতও লাগাতে পারবে না।
Don't usually see planes in this area. Then all of a sudden, they sort of go right into to the World Trade Center.
Tenderheart's right. We can do it, but we have to do it together.
I hope I live. I hope I live. It's coming down on me.
The Muslim community at large would all condemn ISIS.
In the streets, women cutting their hair, burning hijabs in rage, students' demonstrations.
Unofficially, the birth of the new nation is proclaimed when the Bangladesh flag is raised over the radio station.
16 December 1971. East Pakistan gains her long-awaited independence from West Pakistan. This was not only a time for joy and celebration for the people, given they've strived to see this day for 9 whole months, if not more, smeared with the deaths of many, but they can now finally call the land Bangladesh, their motherland. The fact that they were Bengalis was what united them to face down the Pakistanis. It didn't matter if someone was from a minority group, or the house they stayed the night to avoid getting killed by the Pakistani army was owned by someone who believes in another god. After all, they all had one goal: to be independent, and that's what drove them to this glorious day. Driven by emotions, driven by a sense of unity that began to falter after the death of a man who introduced them to the sense of secularism and community. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans praying to one God, but just calling him by different names, right? Bangabuntu, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of the nation's death, quaked the country to its very core, because he was the one who based the belief that secularism can bring everyone together. When they fought, it was never about religion, but about being a Bengali and the fact that everyone had only one motto: to get the Pakistanis out of their country so they can live a life free of judgment. A life where they don't have to worry about someone else taking away their right to live the way they want. This was the case until his gruesome murder that was unprecedented, to say the least. On the 15th of August, 1975, him and most of his family members were tragically killed, not even leaving behind an innocent child in its wake, and the nation slowly but surely transcended into a cesspool that it is today. As if his death killed off the principles he instilled into the Bengalis, and surely enough, they began to separate themselves like the Jews and Christians, hating on the minority, becoming the very thing they swore to destroy during the War of 1971. Religious discrimination. Does it really not matter that at the end of the day, they're all just Bengalis?
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants.
I haven't changed, and you've all got this impression that I've changed.
We work very hard to seek the truth and strive to be fair, balanced, and factual.
YouTube, a social platform for sharing videos and watching them, and the cycle continues to repeat itself, and there's so many information, so many videos people claim that are true, but are they? If you need people to watch your videos, why not reel them in with something fake? Something that never happened. Something that could ruin the lives of people mentioned in the said video. But who cares? YouTube pays you if you can get the views you need. YouTubers like that are abundant. But you might be asking yourself, if their videos get a lot of views, that means the video itself is interesting, or simply put, logical and absolutely not biased, has evidence, even if it is just made up, that can attest to whatever is being said and shown. But that's not true. One such video is about an acclaimed social worker, Nira, based in Bangladesh, but moved to USA ages ago. And the keyword here is female.
Especially when it comes to false asylum claims and document fraud.
The video in question was made by a man who goes by the name of Ilyas Hossain, who fled from Bangladesh because of his criminal activities, but sometime in 2016 or 2017, he left for USA, appealing to the country that he was being tortured just because he was merely supporting another political party, claiming political asylum, which in itself is tragic. So USA, being the benevolent country that she is, opened her arms to this nefarious man, not knowing that it was the beginning of his craft of destruction. Upon information and belief, Hossain was of yellow journalism in his native Bangladesh because he tried to extort money from certain individuals by threatening to reveal damaging information, and he fled to USA for his crimes. Soon after Hossain's arrival in the United States, a friend of Nira's brought Hossain and his family to her home in Queens. She was unaware of Hossain's past as a convicted felon and fugitive. Nira bought clothes and food for Hossain and his family and offered to let them live for 3 months rent-free in a furnished apartment she owned at 4141 Denman St. Elmhurst, New York. Thereafter, Hossain agreed to pay rent in the amount of $1,500 per month. Hossain and his family lived in the Denman St. apartment for 1.5 years and failed to pay Nira a penny for rent. As of the date of his complaint, Hossain owes Nira at least $27,000 for unpaid rent. Now, Ilyas was livid because Nira filed a complaint against him. So he did what any tactless man would do: go on YouTube, make a video, and tell the world that she's a prostitute who lives on a meager amount of $25 or $30 per client. Even if he isn't the brightest man, he definitely knows how to drag someone's name through the dirt just because he's in a losing battle. This showcases his perspective on the entirety of the female species. Just because she crossed him, why not drag her down by claiming that she's a call girl? No evidence, nothing, just baseless claims that he has cooked up out of sheer anger. How can someone do this to the person who gave them a place to stay, a place to live, when she could have just turned her nose up at him and let him live on the roads, a place he was beginning to call home? To him, if a girl doesn't even wear a hijab, she's definitely a prostitute, that word being his only weapon, which doesn't damage his audience, but the victim's reputation in question. Women are nothing to him, just mere pawns in a game he believes he's playing. All the videos that are available on his YouTube channel are so preposterous that even the language used in pornographic materials are substantially better, which simply goes to show how ignorant he is with his way with words. He's a man who lacks the basic ability to be a human, let alone a man of principles. People like him tend to make others feel that hostility and aggressiveness represent the sense of Islam, when in reality, these people are not Muslims at all, simply people who go about their dirty work in the name of Islam, creating Islamophobia among the masses and dragging the entirety of Islam down. The true Muslims should not suffer the repercussions of a man that has no religion at all. Do we really want another 9/11 and then have the innocent Muslims blamed on, scapegoated by everyone just because the terrorists were of the same religion? Personally, he is worse than a terrorist because he's brainwashing his 2 million subscribers to obliterate the minorities in Bangladesh, being the Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. He's using Islam to gain money out of his videos that hate on the LGBTQAs as well, cashing in on the views and spreading lies about any organization remotely related to the minority religions. One of the biggest Hindu organizations, ISKCON, founded in 1906, affiliated with Hinduism and the devotion to Lord Krishna, which was of course ripped on just because they aren't devoted to his radical beliefs instead. He loads any non-Muslims that are progressively going up the economic ladder in his homeland, Bangladesh, although he's taking shelter in the USA, surrounded by people who are most definitely not Muslim. But he has the audacity to bring down deserving people just because they're not Muslims. Making videos claiming they're corrupt, which not only makes his pathetic life more meaningful, at least to him, but also lying to his followers that blindly trust him and gaining millions in the process. From a struggling taxi worker to a man with a bottomless bank account, all by framing innocent people, and their only flaw is that they don't believe in the same God. In the beginning of this video, I had to mention that I couldn't use my real voice for my safety, which is indicative of how serious the situation really is, because his followers are everywhere, lurking in the corners, trying to find out anyone who is not a follower of Hussein. Quite similar to what you'd expect from ISIS and the like, but far worse, because he's affecting more people, which means more radicalism that cannot be contained. I honestly can't handle any more Muslims being bullied into stereotypes just because people like Ilyas Hussein are using the religion to benefit from it all. Instead of accusing every Muslim in your line of sight, think of the amount of emotional pain they have to go through for something they did not do. I might not be a Muslim, but it is evident that they are being wronged. If you really want the terrorists and the ones that are on their ways to become one to pay for their heinous crimes, you have to nip the evil in the bud by eradicating Ilyas Hussein and the people just like him before it's too late.